You ready for this T-14? I don't think so, buddy. No, you're not. Now you're gonna die. Meta mic build, boys. It's strong.
Let me get some.
So we've all heard of a bull in a china shop, but have you ever wanted to be the bull in the china shop? Well, guys, let me tell you, this deck, Armored and SF, is the bull in the china shop. And today we're going to be going through one of my best games with the deck. This is very early on. I think it's my second or third game. And I'm super excited to walk you guys through this. This is going to be live commentary through the entire match. Now, I do apologize. We missed our air start, but we had an excellent air start. We shot down all of their planes, and we only lost one. So this gives us a huge advantage to just get units out and deployed on the field. And, of course, it wouldn't be an SF deck without some killer eggs making an appearance. I try to go for the Sazna early to knock that out and then get clear skies. But unfortunately, I just don't get him. He's hiding in a very good spot, and he's actually running around the building like that to dodge my fire.
I did steal
So,
10,000 supplies right
stealing
here.
their supplies actually gives you vision from the supplies.
If anyone has an F-35A, we can
But
bomb that.
yeah, I was very thirsty to bomb that thing, but couldn't do it. So again, initially we won the air. So I brought in a helo drop. And guys, that's the only time you want to bring a helicopter or an airdrop, is if you know that you very confidently won the air game. And then having a scouting unit like the Killer Egg is going to give you the ability to see what your enemy is bringing onto the field. So I thought I had plenty of time, but oh my gosh, guys, there's a T-15 staring me down. We know T-15s can absolutely destroy helicopters,
dang
but
it.
he gets on the low ground and I get behind that tree cover. I mean, I am so lucky here. Guys, if he had stopped while he was on that incline, I would have absolutely gotten decimated. So I bring out, now a lot of people ask me, what should you start out with? I always want to bring a balance of units. Now, if you saw, I didn't bring in any air units, and this is why, because I didn't scout any helicopters coming in, right? So I didn't see any helicopters rushing the point.
Nice job.
So I just brought out line infantry, which is the Rangers, and anti-tank infantry, which are the Ranger Mods. Now, I'm trying to be a little smarter with this Osprey. I'm dropping it back a little bit further. And here's another key point, guys, about infantry. You want to keep moving, right? You see here, as soon as I kind of won that initial standoff, what do? They start artying the building I'm in. Guys, expect this. People love artillery in this game. I think artillery is kind of fun, but I'm not that obsessed with it. So I've kind of learned how to just play around it. I think one of my weaknesses is not using arty basically at all. But I just have more fun spending my points on other things, right? So be mobile with your infantry, move them into a building, move them from building to building. Remember, they take half damage when they are in a building. So I'm basically now, I say, hey, look, I have the upper hand. This red guy, this red player that I'm going up against, he's absolutely getting dumpstered. But look, more artillery, guys. So look at that. That's like 3 or 4 artillery pieces trying to just suppress me, but I'm on the move, and I've taken basically no damage from all of his artillery. So he's invested a lot of points to get all this artillery on the field, and I'm just moving around it, right? So he's got to try to deal with me somehow, and sure, he has his 1 T-15, but my infantry is way stronger in this grouping than his 1 T-15 is, right? So now I'm filling in my back line. I'm trying to round out my entire infantry squad, right? So I want to now bring in some AA. The pararescues are going to be my basically CQC infantry killing squad, right? I wanted, because I figure once he knows, hey, I'm bringing in a lot of infantry, he's probably going to try to bring something to counter me. And that's what the pararescue are for.
What do you got?
So right now I'm communicating with Fox. Again, I'm playing on the Discord with 4 other people. And we're coordinating now because we had such a strong start on this side of the map. We're saying, okay, how do we now press this advantage? So I said, look, let's just bring in more infantry and really try to like keep the pedal on, keep the pressure on, right? Because the last thing you want to do when you have an early game advantage like this is to just sit back and not do anything, right? So taking some early hits against the T-15, that's a real huge mistake. Obviously, that 57 mil is going to do massive damage. And, you know, one of the problems with what I'm doing right here is I'm so bunched up that if a HE round were to hit in the middle of those squads, man, I would be taking massive collateral damage. But I'm feeling confident. I'm trying to get into a position here and really capitalize on this CQB fight. Look at those Rangers. Now, their assault weapons aren't the best, but see, he thought I was going for the building in the back, or maybe that's just bad spread, but I went straight for those buildings in the front. Now, again, unfortunately, Rangers, their Roz launcher is pretty bad. It only has 500 range, and it only does 450 pen, so not the greatest. So I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to try to pop smoke, and I only popped one of their smoke. Guys, that's a huge point right there, is you don't want to waste 2 smoke. You want to pop 1 smoke and then pop the other one so you can clear the street easily. Now my Ranger Maws, again, they're not getting the best angle and the best shots, so I'm trying to now just close the gap. I'm trying to, again, press the advantage, but now I see, okay, he's bringing infantry up. And at this point, I'm realizing, okay, I'm losing my big advantage here of this early engagement. Again, we're much closer to their respawn than we are to ours. So my advantage here quickly dwindling. One of the things I should have been doing is bringing up my other infantry squads and creating a secondary line behind this initial group. So I didn't micro this very well, but this is an awesome opportunity for you guys to see what I should have done, right? Because if I had brought up more squads behind me and I had like a back line of defense, I could have repelled this entire assault. But again, I just left them all in the back there. I didn't really bring them up. And I'm also now stacking a ton of points. So not the best idea in trying to keep the pressure on. I just, again, like I said, this is early with me in this deck. So I'm learning kind of how I need to be responding, but I'm realizing again, wow, I can put so much early pressure and the enemy team really has to deal with me. So I definitely capitalize this on later games, but I want you guys to see how powerful this infantry gameplay is when done right. Now, one of the things that I did early on was call out 2 SEP 3 trophies, right? Because they're going to be thinking, okay, this guy's heavy infantry. This is a critical part of this deck combination, right? Is you get these really powerful CQC infantry with the SF, and then you can follow it up, guys, with 2 extremely powerful tanks. And that's what I'm really trying to do here. I'm trying to just keep this guy always on his toes and guessing about what I'm going to be bringing out next. So, unfortunately, my Ranger Moz teams got shot in the middle of the street. That was terrible. But you see, they got a cheeky shot off on the T-14 and got a mobility reduce. And now the SEP V3s are here, and they do massive damage, kill the Barbarous. And I just keep them moving, right? Attack move is great, but you don't want them shooting low-value targets like the Engineering Squad, right? I want to press the advantage. I want to get major damage, keep the momentum, right? So when you're playing a pushing deck like this, you want momentum. You want to keep the enemy just on their back foot, sweating, you know, like gasping at straws. You guys remember that South Park episode of World of Warcraft where that guy is just like exhausted, like sitting at his computer, like head hanging low, like he's about to pass out from all the adrenaline? Yeah, that's basically what you want to do to an enemy team with this deck. You want to just be in their face the entire time, and you never want them to get a break. Look at these SEP V3s. They're absolutely running through now 2 players. Remember, I'm going up against 2 players here, and I'm gonna focus fire that Armata. Boom, Armata dead. Now I saw another one, but that's okay. I outnumber him. I have 2 Sep V3s. He has 1 Armata, right? So my biggest thing is I need to keep microing these infantry to stay up with me and keep supporting me, because I don't want to make the same mistake I did last time where I basically run out of steam, right? But I want you guys to notice, now this is a high ELO game. By high, I mean like 1200 ELO. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not up in the 1600s or whatever, but 1200 ELO, I think when you're up in this level, the players you're going up against understand the core mechanics of the game. So this isn't like a fluke. This is the ability to really put a lot of pressure. And as you guys see, we're almost sudden deathing this team. I mean, they have 1 flag that I'm contesting, and that's it. So there's that T14. I realize it kind of late, but guys, look at this. That T14 is right there, and I'm out trading him with the Sep V3. But now I kind of panic. I realize, okay, my Sep V3s are very compromised. But guys, I got Greymane syndrome right now, and I will say a free membership for anybody that actually knows what I'm talking about with Greymane syndrome. But I have a little bit of Greymane syndrome. I want to get in there and get some damage done, but I'm really gambling the life of these Sep V3 trophies. I'm trying to get this killing blow, but am I going to do it, guys? I don't know. Oh boy, not good. 2 guard squads pop into that building. It's not looking good. Can I at least get that T-72 kill before I go down? Oh, I got the T-72 kill.
Nice job, guys.
But here we go. Those guards are absolutely gonna wipe me out. Now, where were my Delta Force? Sleeping on the job. Now, if I had moved them only a couple of buildings over, I probably would have been able to at least do some damage or do something. But they were out of position. Again, I was kind of at my micro tax. But yeah, guys, I'm going to set up a series of membership options here pretty soon. And first person to reply in the comments about what Greymane syndrome is, I will figure out how to give you a free membership. So, yeah, enjoy that. So my whole goal with the Delta Force right now is, again, keep the pressure on. These Delta Force do massive damage to enemy infantry, and you're seeing it right now. I mean, they are deleting those guards absolutely deleted, and now they're killing the Cornet squad. And look, I'm taking them out of the building, so they're only getting shot by the tow team, the Cornet team, and they basically take no damage from the Cornet team. So when you're microing infantry, guys, you want to always be playing your sight angles. Infantry are fragile, but they can do a lot of damage when used right. Now, those 2 helicopters are going to absolutely eat me here. I don't have a lot of options. My sprint is on cooldown, so I am going to suffer. My mistake here was I stayed in that building for too long. As soon as I had basically killed that last squad, I should have run. But look at that Booker's, guys, getting a kill on one of the helos. And again, we're up in their face. We're on their last objective. This enemy team is like struggling to survive, and right now, yeah, I'm trying to help my buddy's Bookers not die. I'm just trying to get my Delta Force out of there, but they have no smoke grenades, and yeah, I'm kind of a little out of options in those Delta Force. Sad to see him go, but this is one of the things I really learned playing this deck, is you have such an ability to keep the momentum up like this, but your only weakness is if you let off the pedal at all. Remember, you are the bull in the China shop. They are absolutely stuck with you in there, and as long as you don't slow down, you can exhaust teams. And guys, with this deck, obviously I'm only going to cast this 1 game with this deck for now. But out of the 10 games I played, I won 8 of them with this deck. I just want you guys to know that how insanely strong this deck is when you're playing it very, very aggressive. Again, if I had to give a rating on like how aggressive this deck is compared to any other ones, like if the aggression is like, out of 10, this is a 10 out of 10 aggression deck. So again, if you guys are like, I want to be pushing at maximum throttle all the time and never stop, this is the deck for you. Now, unfortunately, right there, my Ranger Moz, I can't believe he had vision on me. I thought I was using the sight lines of the buildings and sneaking around, but unfortunately, no, my Ranger Moz got hit on the way in, and I had to pop their only smoke grenade to get them to safety. Now, those BMPs coming at me, you know, again, I'm totally risking it for a biscuit here. There's obviously a lot of airstrikes coming in on that patch. But as you guys see, if I would have stayed over there, that artillery would have absolutely mulched me. So I try to make a play. I try to move forward. But those Rangers, they're not in a good shape. Honestly, I probably could have used a ground transport. That would have helped.
So fast.
But and those airstrikes never came, right? I mean, where are those airstrikes? Who knows? Oh, there it is. A-10 Warthog coming in. Blew up the supplies, and we absolutely did knock out those T-15s. So no, very happy about that. They were A-10 Warthogs. That's why they took forever. But now that I got my... no, that was crazy. Did you guys see how much damage they took? Now, the reason why those Rangers lost so many models right there is because the building collapsed. Right? So when a building collapses, you have a random chance to lose models from your squad. I think it's, you know, sucks pretty bad, but I guess in a way it is what it is. The way you know if a building's about to collapse is it'll go from being its lighter, kind of bright colored, to different darker shades. So next to my SEP V2s on the right, you see a really dark building and then a kind of dark building. That's the 2 degrees, right, of damage. So I have my 2 SEP V2s out. Again, this guy's strategy is just charge in tanks. He kind of tried infantry for a little bit, but these 2 players are just charging in tanks like non-stop. So I'm going to now respond in kind. I don't have the trophies because they don't have ATGMs. I just want tanks. So these SEP V2s only cost 280 because I don't put any trophy system on them. But that's quite a lot of tank right there, even though it's just a Barbarous. I figured I'm trying to use the SEP V2 because he doesn't have an angle on me with the any of his other tanks. So I'm trying to use my SEP V2s to just take out the Barbarous. And then I move on to the Armata. As you guys see that Armata very low. And we have 3 tanks now facing down that Armata. Boom! Armata down. Now, I do have to be very careful. Because the SEP V2 has no trophy, it's very susceptible to getting damaged by ATGMs, right? That's the only trade-off, but honestly, it's kind of how I like to play this deck, is I have 2 trophy tanks, and then the rest are just there to absolutely do tank-to-tank combat. So again, I'm trying to keep him back. Remember, guys, we are on their last 2 points. If we can cap and hold, we have a chance to actually sudden death these guys completely out of the game. So I don't know what that T-72 is aiming at, but he just shot at something. Oh, my Delta Force. So I'm trying to, again, just leverage my SEP V2s, but now they have a helicopter.
Oh, they have catch range.
And I realize, man, I've made a huge mistake. I don't know if I have enough anti-air to really deal with this, and I think they realize that, right? I don't do anything to shoot back, and honestly, 1 mech AA just ain't enough. But here's another thing, guys, I want you to notice. When you have the advantage like this, you can bring your helicopters pretty close to do a lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, this alligator is just able to, like, get really close up on us, but look at Delta Force able to actually shoot back. But my gosh, oh, wow, huge loss there, guys. I lost that reinforcing helicopter with 2 Rangers in it, and I lost 3 squads right there. So again, these are good players. They're learning what our strategy is, and they're just working as hard as they can to counter us, and they definitely are. So
for about 40 seconds.
I thought we would be really close to winning here, but we lost that back objective too. We definitely could have won if we could have held both objectives, but unfortunately we're officially on the back foot, right? So I'm trying to back up this SEP V2 so he keeps his front armor forward, and I do get the kill on that T-72, which I think is pretty huge. But my goal now with this SEP V2 is just get him out alive, right? There's no point in me staying up here anymore. Now my supplies have been destroyed. And I'm in serious trouble. I have no smoke left. That Catran is pretty thirsty, probably trying to come and kill me. And there we go. T-15 shoots me in the back. And I randomly have an empty Osprey here. I think I just in the flurry of battle, I called it out, but didn't load any units in it, and down it goes. But my teammates here are still trying to hold the line, but I think this is a great point for anyone who's shot calling for their game. When you realize that you've taken massive casualties, and there's kind of no point in being so far forward anymore, it's definitely okay to try to make a judgment call and just tell your team to just back up, right? Again, we had nothing to gain being this far forward anymore, so we should have just tried to regroup and get ready for whatever kind of counterattack that they were building up for, right? So one of the key elements to this deck is the nuke. The reason why I brought the nuke is because the rest of my deck is very, very aggressive, right? So as long as I'm holding the momentum, I want to keep calling out units and bringing them up with fast transports, any kind of helicopters, bringing up supplies, bringing up tanks. So I'm spending my points basically as quickly as I can get them, right? That's kind of the play style of a pushing deck.
Remember that game
but
played? This is
once you get to a point where your momentum is lost and you don't have that advantage anymore, your enemy is going to start building up and building up and building up, and they're going to finally start to breathe, right? They're going to think, okay, we turn this around, we can try to win. They're going to, we're giving them a chance to actually take a breath. So the tool to fight against that normally, right, is artillery and recon. But what I brought with this deck instead is a nuke. So the issue is I didn't use it appropriately. What I should have been doing right now is saving up for a nuke. I should have had my teammates, right, building up more forces, and then I'm building up for a nuke. And then what we could have done is if our teammates had units to deploy, I could have been saving all of the points that I currently had and then just drop a nuke right in the middle of that city, wipe everything out, and there we immediately get that momentum shift back and we can start pushing, right? But hey, I didn't do that, right? Instead, what I tried to do was just bring more units out to just keep that momentum going. But guys, you have to remember that when you're pushing this far into an enemy's spawn, they have all the advantages, right? They're close to their spawn, they have quick access to units, and as you see, all of those units I just brought out, dumpster, just office space, grab the machine, grab the printer, throw it in the dumpster meme. I mean, I'm absolutely getting thrown in the dumpster here. So again, I learned this later on in my playthroughs. Like I said, this is probably my third game with this deck. Later on, I realized, okay, if you're in this kind of situation where you had the advantage and then you lost the advantage, it's best to just sit back, save up points, let them think like they're getting ready for a push, and then bring out a nuke. So there's my nuke rant. But isn't this crazy that SU-57 does a gun run on my pack too? Like, oh my god, what the heck?
Yeah, seriously, that was so bad.
And then he missed every shot. So, kind of crazy, but in the meantime, I bring out two SEP-V3s, and guess what? Again, we don't have the advantage, so I'm in a terrible position right now. Even though I have some Ranger Maws and things like that up front, I mean, my goodness, I am in such a bad spot here. But look at these Ranger Maws actually getting some kills. Now, the nice thing here is when Ranger Maws are on some low ground, on an incline like that, they can hide from line of sight. So those T-15s had no idea I was there.
Nice
and
rear
we
shot
did get
the
some
striker
huge
still had.
damage, right? So
Airdrop.
I definitely think that turned out well in our favor, but overall, pretty bad idea.
Denied, dude.
Now the cool thing is, yes, we did deny the kill, and in a situation like this, guys, you want to get your SEP-V3 behind cover. I mean, thank God that's just a Igla squad, but you don't want to take any chances. You want to try to hide your SEP-V3s behind a building to line of sight any enemy units. So although that definitely worked out in our favor, because I don't think I lost any units. Maybe I lost one. I would have been better off with a nuke, right? Because all of those units that these guys were using, I could have just nuked them, right? And I would have gotten all the same kills, and then again we could have called out some units after that. So now we're trying to defend C. Again, one of the pitfalls of this deck when you're hyper aggro is that if you lose the momentum, now you're on the back foot, trying to fill in all the gaps. And honestly, that's when you really want a support player like backing you up in ways that you're not really like prone to do, right? So if I'm on this really, you know, like bull in the china shop, get in their face, knock them down, destroy them kind of thing, well then I'm not necessarily paying attention to these other flags. So you'd want to have a support player like planting some units down on the flags to prevent a quick entrench or capture, you know, on those objectives.
My air has been being spotted way far away.
You know, so this point in the game, I'm doing that whole thing where I'm like, how the heck do they see me? Everywhere I'm going, I'm just getting bombed. Yeah, they probably snuck a sniper in here somewhere, or they just had vision with something. Again, when I'm playing this deck, I am so zoomed in because I'm really heavily focused on micro.
Yeah, they are bringing in a lot of infantry, which is
but so I don't know, like maybe they had a drone, maybe, you know, all sorts of different things that they could do to spot us, but I have no idea. And I'm kind of just trying to pull everything together. But you see they're building up a lot. Firing cruise missiles, artillery. Again, I really think this enemy team was really still scrambling to try and just, you know, hold some ground and gain some momentum back. We did have a nice deflect of their push onto C, but as you can see, this red player, he's really getting ready for a push. The Sosna getting hit by a heat round. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't one-shot, but I think that's really one of the general gameplay elements to Broken Arrow is it's you rarely ever one-shot anything in this game. Well, look at this. Yeah, how did he spot me?
Spots here, dude. Fuck me.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked.
Like they have nothing to see that.
So I have no idea how that was spotted. That's pretty crazy.
That's fucking bullshit.
And I was pretty upset about that because again, it's one of those things where I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of how the recon in this game works. So again, in my mind, there's really only one thing that makes any sense to me because our units aren't spotting anything on the ground. Is they saw the helicopter and they were trying to bomb the helicopter and just so happened to kill the Sep V3 because that really sucks. I mean, that's a 380 point tank, and you remember that was the one that survived. That's a 380 point tank that basically died for free because I didn't micro my helicopter well. My bad. Totally on me. Again, when you're in the middle of a game, you are ready to blame anyone and everything. But that's me. Again, look at how good of a nuke opportunity this is. I mean, they're clustered up in the city, too afraid to move. Yeah, I should have been saving up for a nuke. That would have been a giga nuke, dude. That would have been like a 2,000 or 3,000 point nuke if I had saved up for one instead of just spamming more units. But again, first impressions slash tips and tricks, right? So let's see what I can do with these killer eggs. Of course, killer eggs are still in the SF deck and should absolutely be used as often as you can use them. But they do have some AA that looks like a Skrezet in the back shooting me. At this point, I'm just trying to get some value because I'm getting just picked off.
Right, killer egg patrol is checking.
So trying to find some artillery pieces or something. I know there's no way I'm going to get close to that, but look at the ante! Oh, get it down the ante like crazy. I think that was the 200 point version, but don't quote me on that. Let's see if I can take out these supplies. Oh, this killer egg getting too close, so ends up stealing the supplies. I wish he just would have killed him, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, you don't want to stay microing that stuff for too long, because, like, as you can see now, my pack is getting shot. So much better to just leave the killer eggs out, to just go on some attack move and micro your high value units. So Sep V3, again, I have some very few very expensive units. I think I finally realized, okay, time to save up for a nuke. Kind of no point in trying to like
saving up for a nuke, because
Yeah.
we can pull. If I'm just gonna nuke the middle of D and F, and then we can just push into it.
There you go. So I finally kind of figured it out that, hey, I brought this nuke, why don't I use it? But again, this is a really great way to use the nuke, right? I don't normally ever bring the nuke because I'd much rather have versatility in my deck. And yeah, that poor Shorad just didn't have a smoke. I'd much rather have versatility in my deck than go for an all-in. But again, the way this deck is built, it is so nice
Do we have any other...
to have a nuke available so that the second you start losing momentum and they want to start building up, you just blow it all away.
Follow me in?
So here we go. I'm getting ready to deploy the nuke.
I have a seed playing up.
Everything you
Calling
have
out
got,
for
drop
seed,
it.
calling out for
I'm going in
reinforcements.
now.
Now again, it's a little worse than I would have
Is your nuke out?
hoped.
Yes, it's out right now.
Because red guy has deployed some of his units, right? It's not like their whole team is still clustered up back there, which is what I would have liked. And oh man, my Sep V3 getting absolutely overrun by units.
Oh wow, they had a BTR way in the back.
But I'm trying to just keep him alive. Again, no point in like staring at the nuke flying in. You want to try to keep your units alive. But there it goes!
Good nuke.
Some big damage.
Good.
Oh yeah. Definitely worth it. I mean, again, whatever they were building up there is just completely gone.
Nice.
Our teammate coming
C is
in,
basically
wiping
clear.
out whatever was on C. Now my Sep V3, look at that, out of HE shells. That's pretty crazy. But now I'm just trying to fight to survive, really.
Now we can just get more vehicles
And
out,
now we have a
gotta
huge
be
opportunity to
aggressive.
push in. But this is one of
Whatever we
those
have to push
coordinating
into
elements,
that
right?
city
When
up
you're
there, we should push.
playing the game and you want to be using these nukes effectively.
I'm sending
You want to
Sep.
drop that nuke, you want everybody to know that it's coming, and then you want to dogpile into the city that you just took. Right? I mean, anything that was in there is completely
Bring up
wrecked.
supplies.
So, obviously I'm checking C, and I realize there's something still here. Now, again, this is so risky, guys.
Yeah,
The,
we can build anything, that'd be
The
great.
Shorad that you get with Armored doesn't have any APS. So this is a very risky move. But look at that, I got one kill on an engineering.
Oh, it killed the
Predator
BTR.
kills the BTR robot,
Some work.
and then the Shorad getting the other kill. Now, if he had an AT squad, that thing could have easily died. That Shorad could have died. But I rolled the dice, came out on top.
Dude, my supplies
Look
are
at that.
spotting all their bullshit coming in. That's so funny. Okay, they have two Armatas coming
Yeah.
in. They're trying to do a heavy reinforce.
Yeah, so stealing their supplies allowed me to see what they were doing,
Yeah,
which
we
I think
didn't-
is pretty
yeah,
funny.
Unfortunately, didn't really
Which again
capitalize
allows
on
us
it.
to
It's
see
not-
armadas are coming, but yeah, like I said, we didn't really capitalize on it.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
It's part of the game, right? It's part of learning to
I can,
play with your team. Again, I still feel like that
I can
nuke was very
bring in
good,
some-
but we really didn't get like a momentum
Yeah, no, I
shift,
only
which
have
is
one
kind of what you want out of a nuke. That
I've
you
got a
know,
whole bunch
either
of,
their team is
strikers.
trying to build up momentum and you stop it, or your team is losing momentum and you stop them, right? That's kind of how you want to use it. So yes, in the future, in other games that I play, basically after I get a couple of tanks out and I have a bunch of infantry out, I stop spending points because I want to push to get as far as I can, and then as soon as I'm starting to hit that wall and they're really pushing back against me, that's when I send the nuke out, right? So I know we've been talking a lot. I've been talking a lot about nukes this game, but I feel like it's important. I know the nuke is a really fun part of the game, and just now that I've spent like a lot of time, you know, about 8 to 10 hours with the deck
There's those
playing with the
C14s,
nuke,
they're sitting up
I'm
right
just
here.
saying
We
that's the
can
best
post
way
them
that I've been able
up.
to see it used.
They have two T14s.
Now,
right
so yeah,
there.
spotting those T14s is crazy,
I'm trying not to.
but
yeah.
they're just charging down the hill.
They're rolling down.
Again, I don't want to get shot. Those cannons are very high pen. I would basically drop my Sep V2
I'll try to actually hold them
down to low health. So now that I know the cluster run is coming in, I am going to try to engage these T14s to get them to stop.
They're out
Lost
of
an
it.
airstrike?
They're out of it.
But
They're out
they don't stop. They just
Oh,
keep
there's still more
on
coming.
rolling. Unfortunately, that cluster bomb, just ineffective damage on
We actually might
target.
hit 'em with some if we're lucky
But
with some
it's
red.
just, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. You
Oh,
do
come
get
on.
those misses. But look at that.
went so
The
wide.
javelin, striker javelin in the back,
able to
and
get
my
one of
Shorad
those.
both pinned that one T14, and now my Sep V2 trying to go in for the kill. Another strafing run coming in. Guys, is this going to be the glory shot we're all looking for here? Oh, big damage. Oh, big damage. Oh, guys, look at that. A10 Warthog strike. Absolutely huge.
Got 'em.
I believe that was two A10s. And guys, that's the power of those Maverick missiles. Now, one of the things I want to say is,
fucking hit all of my supplies here too.
Oh,
Dude,
man,
fuck these guys bullshit.
I'm
vision.
so,
I do not believe that for a second.
I'm so raging
That's
here.
fucking dog shit.
They got something spotting me, obviously, but I
There's
am
no
I am malding
fucking
right
way.
now over that. And I'm definitely gonna bleep that. I'm unfortunately
Wow.
swearing.
Okay, my Sep.
But yeah, I the problem is when I
the
got so
fucker
upset
flag.
at all that, I wasn't really paying attention to my tank anymore, and then I just lost my tank. So that's like the atypical malding experience that you just start raging and then you're not paying attention and just like lose and lose more. But we're successfully holding these guys back. Now, guys, remember,
Yeah, get the
we're
weapon
up by
out,
4
you can
points,
smoke it.
and we're going into kind of halfway of through phase 3.
Trying to get my
And
range
we
versus
are
the-
still
I'm trying to- yeah, I'm
ahead
getting an
on
alligator with the short
flags, and we're about to be ahead on
Hit 'em
kills.
with the Booker too.
Now,
Nice.
yes,
Good.
you know, so we've held the momentum all game, even though I was definitely malding
Booker home.
about, you know, like losing supplies, getting bombed, getting seen again. They have
supplies
something
close
back there
by.
spotting, but you know, we're winning the game, right? So I really don't have anything to get upset about. We've been ahead all
Dude,
game,
it's dog shit.
these
What kind
but
of
you know, sucks to
They
suck,
have over
and I'm
basically
just, you
everywhere.
know, mad that I'm sucking. Let's just be real. So yeah, the supplies game with this deck, it's actually pretty good because you can get the Chinook and the Osprey to bring up supplies and troops.
Anyone floating some points and can helo in
But,
some supplies over here?
And then you have that truck that can just ferry supplies around, which is really nice. But I'm basically down to just one
Yeah, sure,
tank
I got you.
and
Right.
one Shorad, which is pretty bad, right? As a pushing deck, I want to have a lot more, like, I want to have a lot more resources
the fucking
available.
killer eggs
But that's kind of one of the trade-offs of calling it a nuke.
Yeah, but they
Is you just, you know, you're spending that 1,000 points that could be 3 or 4 tanks or, you know, 10 infantry.
With both our Armatas down, we should be trying to push.
You're
with
you're
some-
trying to get that damage, or you're trying to get that effectiveness from those troops in other ways. And we're doing it, right? We retook C. We're back
Yeah,
into
I'm
that
waiting to
city,
save up.
right,
I got
in
4
DNF,
tanks coming, and then I'm
and
gonna
we're
just
looking
get
pretty
a
good going
helo
into the
in.
closing minutes of the game here.
My
Some
Booker's also
rangers.
repairing.
I got 3 rangers coming in.
So again, just to go back, this is that time when reinforcing with a lot of units is a
Yeah, I'm
good
gonna
call
go with
because
you, push into
you're
D.
getting that momentum back and you can capitalize it on it versus you're just scrambling to hold ground that you
get all my
absolutely
tanks to
don't
push
need,
through.
right? So that's something just to remember is that if you're not fighting over
Alright.
something, just pull
be
back
cool
to
over
where
there.
you feel safe and you have units to create a defensive line. No point in being hyper aggressive over basically
I'm
nothing.
diving that barbarous really hard.
So yeah, here I go, guys. Back with the Greymane syndrome. I see I have infantry behind me, and I know that a tank counters a barbarous.
Pilot behind
So
us.
I'm just going in right on the side armor. But oh, hello, guards are there.
See if you can tie up those guards.
I didn't
just get in the
expect
building
him.
with the guards
But
so
yes,
they
for
can't
example,
shoot
if
the
those
rockets at
rangers
me.
would have gotten in the building with the guards,
There's
then
more
the
tanks
guards
coming.
wouldn't be shooting me with their rocket launcher, as you can see right now. But oh, there's more guards!
Oh shoot!
Greymane syndrome
Fucking
gets me again.
Sep V2 just did not want to target the tank.
Yeah, no, again,
Yeah,
big
that's
malding by
overwhelming
me
now.
over here, just screaming at my Sep V2 when I'm obviously the one that charged him to his death. And again, not the best call because now I convinced my teammates to push forward with me when I only had 1 tank and 1 Shorad with like no extra infantry. So I really didn't do anyone any favors. Now, right now is when we should have been pushing because
Flight
look at
low
all
in for
these
the,
extra resources that we have going on to the
about halfway
objective.
through the map, I'm flying low, and then I pop up when I'm halfway across.
What?
Big bombing run unfortunately didn't do
sometimes I
Get
anything.
those tanks in there. My Marines are pinned down.
Well, I just needed the rest of the tanks to show up too. I'm coming, don't worry.
Yeah, see, again, that was just me being a bad shot caller. Again, I want you guys to see how this deck works and how it doesn't
I've got
work,
cluster
right?
hitting
So what
that
works
fucking
is
big concentration.
building momentum, rolling the team over, and keeping that going. What doesn't work is piecemealing
supplies,
against 2 or 3 players and constantly putting pressure on them when you have a limited amount of vehicles. Right, look at that. I just sent 2 vehicles in, one at a time. They both get shot to basically no health, and now what am I doing?
V2 up there this whole time? I don't
Yeah,
know,
doing nothing. Now the Sep
I'm
V2
gonna go clean up crew this.
is in a pretty good spot now to clean up.
How did I have a Sep V2 up there this whole time?
And that shows you like how disoriented I am. I didn't even realize I had a Sep V2 that had gotten all the way around the flank, and it sat there doing no damage. Now I'm sitting here trying to capture the resources, while my other 2 tanks are just sitting there, very damaged, very damaged. Again, that's a pretty bad trade. I had no reason to trade against that T90. I should have smoked off right away.
Just get ready to move your HCs in.
And should have smoked off right away and gotten behind cover.
I'm sending my fucking fast shit to go fuck with his AA.
Yeah, there's a bunch of T90s.
Now they're trying to get kind of bold, and they're trying to just get out of the deadlock that we have them squeezed into here on D. They're trying to do a flank around the side, which is a smart call. They absolutely need to not just keep running into our meat grinder that we're putting them through. So basically my goal, I think, would be to take those 2 tanks there as they're repairing and then get in on those T90s. While we very, very safely hold the D flag. But again, guys, this is a higher ELO game and very aggressive play. I want you guys to see I don't use any artillery, and I think that's something that some people I know will appreciate. Is that artillery, as good as it is, it's not a necessity in Broken Arrow. It has its place, it does do its job well, but if you keep high pressure up and you have tools to counter an enemy entrenched position, like a nuke, you absolutely do not need artillery. Again, I don't have any with this deck, and I feel like I'm doing pretty fine.
Just killing all of his
So again, I'm going in pretty hard with the Sep V2. Again, no active protection. I'm just trying to kill that T-15, but props to the enemy player I went up against here. He did micro that thing very well. I just didn't have the best ability to capitalize on it. Again, he's moving infantry into buildings, using their rocket launchers. I mean, we had like 4 tanks there, and we're kind of getting picked apart, right? All 3 of those tanks died. I'm the last one on the line, and I have no smoke, so I'm, destined for dead here pretty soon. It's basically just how many can I take down with me. You see how many criticals.
Oh my god, on a sliver, 1 health.
Targeting damage,
Striker's got, oh no.
loader damage, vision damage, movement damage. I couldn't be more damaged than I am right now. Can I get out of there? That's a good question. Ranger is getting absolutely mulched by the gun pods.
Absolutely dumpstered by the MIK.
Oh my gosh, that thing loaded with massive gun pods. And I'm trying to just hit it with the machine guns. But look, another tank just gonna get decimated here. Not the cleanest gameplay, but guys, I hope you see how powerful this deck can be. It's so awesome to see the enemy team actually give some GGs out. We all fought very hard. No cheesy strategies, no arty for days. Like, we brawled, and we brawled really hard. I think this was a really fun game. Again, it wasn't my best game. I definitely threw a lot of units away, but it was a super fun game, guys. And I think this is the start of definitely, it ain't Cult of the Egg, but I'd say it's basically Bull in the China Shop. And now look at this. I'm microing this one Sep V3 because he's trying to get those B-15 Kurganets on my side armor, but I'm not letting him have the side armor. But his T somethings, T90s or T70s finally did knock me out.
Yeah,
But there you go, guys. That's the game. So
good job, guys.
pretty
That's
awesome
how you do it,
match.
though.
I mean,
High-pressure game
mixture
like that.
of 11 and 1200 ELO. Again, battle to the death. I didn't even see what was going on the other side of the map. Again, we had 2 lower ELO guys, but we were grinding against their high ELO guys, and that was super fun. Super awesome match. I hope you guys give this deck a try. Armored SF, hyper aggressive, hyper focus on getting in that front line. So, love you guys so much. Hope to see you soon, and more videos to come. All right, bye.